YouTube. Once again, guys, thank you for your support. If you are new to my channel, make sure you subscribe button, also that notification icon so you can never miss an upload. Guys, I want to go ahead and show you a very annoying quick snap play that can drive your opponent crazy. You can work your way up and down the field with it very effectively. It does attack the deep corners. You got a nice deep post over the middle, and you got nice underneath action with this particular play. Now, you can find this in the Jets playbook, also the Broncos. It might be sprinkled in some other playbooks, but I looked at some of these online websites that actually have this listed, and Jets and Broncos are where I found it at, but it's out of the split slot. Gun split slot is a really good formation. It allows you to go ahead and attack those flats, and it's just a fun formation to use. And this play in particular, which is the slot post angle, Now, I've showed this before, and this is something I ran into somebody using against me years ago in Madden, and it's just as OP today as it was years before. So since the Jets and the Broncos are really not popular playbooks, you probably don't run into a lot of people running this, but if you have the ability to go ahead and use a custom playbook, I definitely recommend throwing this as a scheme. Go and talk about why this play is so special and so hard to stop. Easy progressions, and give you an opportunity for you to just walk up and down the field. And then if you build an entire scheme that goes with it, it's just going to drive your opponent crazy. Now, I'm going to run this against random nickel defenses, and then we're going to go from there. So it really doesn't make much of a difference which side of the end zone which side of the hash you're on, either right or left. Because my only adjustment I'm going to do is I'm going to take Gore and put him on a wheel route, and that gives me a check now that will get into anybody that runs a lot of aggressive zone coverages. But really what I'm going to be looking for is basically the combination of routes of Crowder, Wims, and Gore. And then I've got some action going off the left with Johnson and Perryman, and they're very fast and easy reads. But this play is nearly unstoppable and can drive your opponent crazy. And if you blend it into a full scheme, it can be very effective. So what makes this play tick is basically the complement of this wheel route and this deep stock out route. Deep stock out routes are just wonderful plays, and if you get the type of coverage that you need, basically you can hit that out route on the back end side. Now, my first progression and read is going to be this out route, and I'm going to go ahead anytime I get an opponent that runs man coverage against me. If I get the guy that spins his back, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pop that out route, because that out route is going to give me a big chunk of yards, between 10 and 15 yards. And if I go ahead and I'm able to go ahead and catch my opponent off guard with it, basically I might be able to go and turn that up and get some pretty good yards. But what makes this play special is the underneath route by Gore, that if a guy runs a lot of zone coverages, what's going to happen is Gore's route will open up for you underneath. And if your opponent starts chasing it, you've got this post right over the middle that he has to take in consideration. So 3 really great routes. Then bundle it in with a halfback angle route on the bottom, where if he floats up, goes after the deep post, or basically goes after the right side and tries to really man that up, you can pop that little angle out for a big completion. And with a man progression and read, this deep comeback route will be available for you. So that was cover 2, but you could see you could hit all 5 routes with this particular play. It's just so OP and so great to use against your opponent. So we're going to go ahead and run this against basically a bunch of the top coverages in the game, and I'll just show you my progressions from there. So if your opponent's going to be pressing you a lot, the one thing I do want to share with you is this out route still be available to you. It becomes a little bit tighter of a play, but that's pretty much going to open up everything for you. So press, got the little angle route that you can pop against your opponent. He'll have to catch that. And also you've got this deep post that's going to get in a nice little area, especially with some good speed. You can get yourself a one-play touchdown with that. And you have your stock comeback route, low ball that thing. You can actually get a nice little completion for some pretty big yards. So this is going to provide you basically your press speeders underneath. The wheel route essentially will get picked up because there'll be a defender in that area, so you probably don't want to do that, but it's going to give you 4 other routes to go with. Now, cover 2 man essentially is going to give your opponent, you're going to get the same type of look, but with cover 2 man, Once again, you could still go ahead and hit this little out route. It's going to be a little bit tighter, but it still will be available for you. You've got the halfback angle route, which you can get a nice little big completion right over the middle like that. And if you get the leverage, the deep post will be available for you too. That's going to be user territory, but you've got the high-low with that. And the deep comeback route will be available against a presser. So anybody that uses man presses and stuff like that, all 4 of those routes are still going to be in play. So basically with cover 2, once again, you want to first look to that corner route. If it's inverted cover 2 where the defensive backs on the outside are going up into deep halves, then you want to go and hit that deep out route, because the defender is really not going to float out there in time, or drop it down to the wheel route by Gore. That's going to be your next read. And it's going to be your fast read. So you just go ahead and do a quick little completion. But sometimes you'll see that flat float down and play Gore's route, and a lot of times what's going to happen is you can actually hit that over the top. Now here's another thing I discovered with cover 2, and this is going to show, you're going to really get excited about that. What I have discovered is against cover 2, if you streak up that wide receiver, the mid read will not play a streaked wide receiver, and this will give you a 1-play touchdown. So if you anticipate someone's going to run cover 2, instead of actually doing the wheel route, just do a streak route with the slot receiver and watch him peel off unless he's in a deep third, and now you got yourself a 1-play touchdown for an easy TD if he jumps in cover 2. Puts this guy out there as a deep third. All you have to do is just check it down to that running back, because that's going to put one less defender in the middle of the field. What if your opponent runs cover 3? Well, the key person we're going to read is going to be the defender that's going to be over Mims. If he pushes and then he shoots out, that means this route, this running back route is going to be available for me. And I'm picking up 7-8 yards. Trust me, your opponent's going to get frustrated with it. Conversely, you've got this other running back route on the opposite side. So he can't use either one of these 2 running back routes. It's going to take him out of his game. Sometimes you can squeeze the out route, but it becomes a little bit tighter of an area to go and squeeze it in, because the defender is going to float out there. So I wouldn't try to force that. But the other passing lane that's going to open up is going to be this post route. This will actually get a nice little completion for you over the middle. So once again, you're doing both flats against that cover 3 look, and then you've got the nice post route off the back end side. And you could conversely go ahead and force that ball into that out route. But for the most part, it's not the safe bet against cover 3 unless you low ball it. So you can see the defender gets out there. So you check down to the running back routes, and then look for Mims over the middle once he starts biting down to those underneath routes. So if your opponent runs cover 3 match, once again, matching principles are going to be the same as man principles. So that's what you're going to look to. So we're going to watch the defender that's over Mims and see what happens with him. And if he matches, we're just going to go and hit that out route. So that's going to be our first progression. And conversely, the running back route should open up for you too. And all we're really going to do is, if you see your opponent cheating, is you're just going to watch that defender right here and see if he goes up to the deep comeback route, and you're just going to pop that underneath. And this running back route will be available too, because the defender actually is going to come out. So all 4 routes are pretty much in play. So if you got an opponent that runs a lot of cover 4 drop, once again, this is a great play for you. You're going to be able to go ahead and hit your opponent with fairly simple completions, just with the underneath action that he's doing. And if he doesn't get out in time, you might be able to go ahead and pop that. But I'd look through the underneath stuff. You're going to read the defender off the left-hand side. We're going to look at that guy right there. And then we're just going to go and pop the little angle route, and he's going to be forced to come down to that. Also, that deep post is going to get inside the coverages. So you can actually get a nice little completion with that if you lowball it into that passing line. A little bit tighter than normal, but it's just a good way to go ahead and keep your opponent guessing. So you just keep checking it down underneath with the running back routes and the little out routes against cover 4 drop. So if your opponent runs cover 4 quarters, you're going to get that one-on-one over here with the out, so you always want to go to that. So if you see that man read, just go ahead and take that out. That's going to be where your money is going to be at. Conversely, you got a one-on-one off the backside, so you want to go ahead and pop that, and you're going to get an easy completion with a deep comeback route. And I think the matching principles here with this route will be available to you for the palms. So it kind of like palms works just like a typical man read. So this is really just, you want to just go and stay with those same progressions. So this is going to beat the zone coverage. It's going to meet the man coverages. So what's the best defensive play to lock up this slot post angle? Well, technically, there's not really a best defense. You're going to have to use some type of hybrid coverage. But what I have noticed is that the cover 6 invert is going to give you the tools to basically go ahead and stop this. So I want to show you that basically this is going to put a defender down in that area to go ahead and take away that little angle route. Also on the back side, watch the wheel route with the invert. There'll be a guy out there to go ahead and intercept that. Conversely, on the back side, your deep comeback route essentially is going to get taken away. So that's going to be a route that's going to get taken away. And then the invert, you might have a small passing lane, but this is going to allow another defender to go ahead and play that. So all 4 of those routes with this cover 6 invert essentially will get locked up. The only route that has any kind of ability to get that out is that out route. So you'll probably have to put some type of cloud coverage out there or something. You have to manually adjust that guy to anticipate that out. Or you can go ahead and move the guy manually to put him in position to go ahead and make a swat of that ball. But everything else is locked up except for that out route. So if you can highlight it down to one route, then you're going to get more sacks against your opponent if he comes out and uses this play against you. So guys, if you do like these type of tips and breakdowns, please let me know. Smash that like button. I'll be rolling out more offensive and defensive tips to take your game to the next level. So thank you for your support, and until next time.